AFTV, Ryan, 2-0 to the Arsenal. But as I'm saying to everybody, that don't tell the whole story, man. You know what I mean? He gave us a little skit. Listen, Ray didn't have to make loads of saves on it. I know he made one brilliant one. But they had us under a little pressure. You know, that second goal for us was a relief, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I think everyone seems to have forgotten they had one disallowed as well for offside.
Yeah, that was miles offside. Well, I said it was miles offside, but when I see VAR, how long they checked it, I was like...
Yeah, I thought it was miles off, but like you said, the fact that it took so long made me question whether there was something I didn't see. It felt like in the first half they were enjoying themselves. They were all playing with a bit of flair. They were all like loose in the shoulders and just wanted to play combination play. Ødegaard's doing that thing that he used to do a couple of years ago, where he has that blind sweep out to the other side with no touch pass, just out to the other side. And it looked like it was going to be one of them nights where, you know, a good European night.
3-4.
Exactly. 3-4, relatively comfortable, but. They dug in. They made it tough. They did the basics well. When they won the ball back, they then tried to play. Their number 10, I thought, was pretty decent. I'm surprised they took him off quite so early. I don't know if there was a reason for that. But they tried. You know, they came here. They obviously wanted to play for the fans. They had really great support. And then obviously getting the second goal is exactly what you need in those situations. And you know, people criticise Mikel, but like we saw some different things today. You know, I think we're seeing the best of Martinelli because we're almost trying to play to Gyökeres. But as a byproduct, it's almost benefiting Martinelli because the idea that we're trying to play forward a lot quicker is bringing Martinelli into the game in ways that we wouldn't necessarily have normally done so before.
He would
have been hanging out on the left touchline, waiting to get the ball, waiting to get double teamed, waiting to do. Whereas actually now he's really encouraged to kind of make those forward off the ball runs, and players are looking for them. We're seeing some really great touches from Gyökeres. It's not quite just falling for him, but you can kind of see that when it does, what a player you got, and then you got weeks when you can take him out the firing line and put Kai Havertz in, and you know what you're going to get. And the squad that we're seeing, the squad that we've built, gives us incredible options. I mean, you look at the table. Us and Inter Milan, the only two sides that haven't conceded a goal. With game week 2, and everyone's conceding goals. And defensively, we're so solid that
one player there tonight who has just signed a new contract, but solid in there tonight. Saliba. I mean, how important was that, tying him down to a new deal?
Look, I think it's really important. I think it's important for him as a player. I think it's important in terms of the...
You say that, but he could easily have went to Real Madrid. He could be doing a Canate or riding it out to Real Madrid.
Look, I read a statement where he was kind of talking about wanting to give back to the club because the club put faith in him, they put trust in him. He's won a Community Shield, but he wants to win more. And that, when people criticise Arteta and they criticise the squad, they criticise the club, when you see players like Saka, like Saliba committing some of the best years of their career to this club, that to me tells you that some of the stuff that we maybe don't see that goes on behind the scenes is really filling these guys. Is really filling these guys with confidence. Because at this level he could quite easily have just sat out and gone, no, I'm going to wait till the end of the season. You didn't do it before the season started. Now I just want to play football and go into a World Cup year, and then it's and then you start getting all of that. And we went through that for years. Like every year we were losing, and our big players were always linked to your Real Madrids and your Barcelonas, and we were losing them. And now we're able to kind of keep them, and that kind of shows me. I think Julian mentioned it a little bit earlier in terms of some of the development that's happened off the pitch that kind of acts as a catapult for us to be in the position that we're in now. Because I mean, imagine you're a side like Olympiacos, and you come out at half time and you go, right, we're still in the game, we haven't conceded. It's a break in play, you look up and Yuri Timber and Declan Rice are coming on, and you're thinking...
Saka and Eze.
Yeah, and they're on the bench warming up, just ready to go, and you go... There's levels to it, and everyone's like, you're hearing it now from other rival fans who I think we're seeing some hate-alongs and we've been seeing it, but you actually sit down to the reasonable ones when they're kind of not watching an Arsenal game and they go, Arsenal's got a great squad. and it started to click. And actually, they don't really concede many goals. And
You're getting worried about.
I think they are, and I think the reasonable and objective ones, when they're being reasonable and objective, if you actually listen to what they're saying, it's, you know, there's an element of fear in it. And you can like I said, you can kind of see why. I think the squad that we're building is brilliant. We've made 6 changes today, and like I said, you've got Saka, you've got Rice, you've got Eze on the bench. You'd love to see Dalman, you'd love to see Waneri, but today probably wasn't the game for those. We've got Brighton in a couple of weeks. That's probably the game. We've just had Port Vale. That's the game. So super positive. Okay. That's saved from Raya, by the way, in the first half. Absolutely unbelievable. And again, it just acts as a launch pad for you to just go on as a team. And the back four are so confident with that goalkeeper behind them that they can then go and play, and it just gives you a whole, it gives everyone the onus to just go forward and make things happen. And that's why you can afford to kind of be a bit more risky with your passing and try to play those passes in behind. And yeah,
can we go all the way in this competition this year? I know it's still early, very early to say, but can we?
Look, like I said earlier, I think.
How you doing, bro? You good?
No, you're okay.
Good to see you, man. Good to see you.
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, I think you get that.
The legend Mick the Badge, man. You know what I mean? In the building. Big up.
You get to that situation where, like us in Inter Milan, we're two game days in, and we're the only two teams that haven't conceded a goal. That kind of tells you how open everybody else is.
Yeah.
And therefore, I think, like I said, that is what gives you the onus to go on and win these sorts of competitions and these tournaments. As I say, defence wins championships, and hopefully this year it can take us to 2 really big ones.